different types of data in SAP. So let us understand what are the different types of data in SAP. So in a real project, once you start working as an SAP consultant, so you would see that there are mainly these three types of data which are there in SAP. So before we discuss about the data, let me take you through the SAP architecture, right? So SAP basically is based on a R3 architecture, right? So R3 architecture was launched in 1972, right? R stands for real-time data processing. So the main reason why this SAP is so popular because it gives you the real-time data. And this version of R3 consists of three layers. First is the presentation layer, second is the application layer, and third is the database layer. So now you will ask, what is a presentation layer? So presentation layer is basically the screen which is right in front of the user, the application which you are working. Application layer, application is a you can say a process wherein the data from the database it gets represented to the presentation layer, and the database layer is where all the data gets stored, right? So this is basically the architecture of SAP, wherein it has three layers. First is the presentation layer, second is the application layer, and third is the database layer. We'll discuss in details about these layers, right? But let's get an overview about the SAP architecture and what all are the different types of data in SAP, right? So why I am discussing about the layers? Because whatever transactions you perform in your application, the complete activity is based on these layers only: the presentation layer, application layer, database layer. So whatever data you maintain here gets stored in the database layer. Okay, so let's discuss about the different types of data in SAP. So first of all, we have the configuration data. So configuration, who will do the configuration? The configuration is done by the consultant. And where he will do the configuration? He will do the configuration on the SPRO screen. So this activity, the configuration data, this activity would be performed by the consultant. Consultant would do this activity, and that would be done where? In the SPRO screen. So if any activity is performed in the SPRO screen, what will happen? A TR will get generated. A TR is nothing but a transport request. So TR will get generated. And what is TR? TR is a transport request. We'll tell you in details about the transport request as well. But just for your understanding, so whatever activity you perform in a SPRO screen, a TR gets generated. What is TR? What we will do with the TR? Why it is required? We'll discuss soon. Okay. So just to understand, whatever activities you do, let's suppose if you want to define a company or a company code or a chart of accounts or accounts group, whatever activity you do in the SPRO screen, a TR will get generated. That activity is performed by the consultant. Okay. So that was the activity which is performed on the configuration data. Now let's move on to the master data. Master data can be maintained by the end user or can be performed by the consultant, both. Okay, and that activity, the master data activity, is performed on which screen? On the SAP easy access screen. I have shown in my previous classes that how does the SAP easy access screen look like, where the end user work. So in this SAP easy access screen, the user can create the master data, be it a GL master data, be it a vendor master data, be it a customer master data, be it a asset, be it a profit center, whatever master data is there, that can be created, that can be uh, maintained with the help of the SAP Easy Access screen. And when the master data is created, in that case a TR does not get generated. So if you perform any activity on the SAP Easy Access screen, a TR will not get generated. The transport request which I'm talking about is a very important and crucial component in the SAP environment. So whatever master data you maintain, in that case on the SAP Easy Access screen, a TR will not get generated. Keep it in your mind that the TR will not get generated if you perform any activity on the SAP Easy Access screen. That SAP Easy Access screen is mainly designed for the end users to perform their day-to-day transactions. Okay, now let's move on to the transaction data. What is a transaction data? Who will perform a transaction? What all transactions are maintained? So basically this transaction data is to post the accounting entries by the accountants. So you can say this transaction data is basically maintained or managed by the end user, where on the SAP Easy Access screen. So on the SAP Easy Access screen, the end user, so in SAP terminology we call it end user, or in the simple accounting form we can call it accountant. So end user is nothing but a accountant. So here the accountant will post the transaction, his daily transactions, in this SAP Easy Access screen. And here also whenever he performs, whenever he or she, end user or accountant performs any activity on the transaction data, TR will not generate. TR will not generate. What all activities he will perform? He will post the document entries, he will post the vendor invoice, customer invoice, uh, GL invoice, right? So he will perform all these activities, he will generate reports. So he will perform all the accounting, all the document entry activities in the transaction data. And where it is performed? It is performed in the SAP Easy Access screen. Okay, so keep it in mind that these are the main and the major types of data which are there in SAP. One is the configuration data, which is performed by the consultant. Second is the master data, which is performed by the consultant, or the end user can create a master data. Okay, then we have the transaction data. So this is mainly and only performed by the end user. Okay, so these are basically the three types of data in SAP. Whatever activities has been performed here, whatever data has been created here, that gets generated, that gets stored in the database layer. Okay, and that was the reason why I was discussing about the SAP R3 architecture. Why database layer? Whatever data is maintained, that gets stored in the database layer, whatever activity is performed here. Now if you want to check your data, where you would check? You can simply go to this T code SE16N. You simply type the SE16N in the command box, and there you come up to this SE16 page, and there you can enter the required table, and you would get to know the complete data which were maintained under the master data or under the transaction data. Whatever data were maintained, you can see using this T code SE16N. Keep it in mind, it's a very important T code. Okay, we will be discussing about the tables, and there are different types of tables with the help of which you can see the different types of data. Okay, we will discuss that in details, but just for the basic understanding, you simply understand that there are three types of data in SAP. First is the configuration data, second is the master data, and the third is the transaction data. So these are the basically main types of data in SAP. Okay, so let's move on to the next uh, slide and see the different types of servers in SAP. Okay, let's see. Okay, 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 it's fine. Now, now we are discussing about the TR. So TR, which I was talking earlier, TR. What is TR? So TR is basically, we can call it a vehicle to move the data from one place to another. In simple terminology, if we say what is TR? TR is nothing but a vehicle or a medium through which the data is moved from one system to another system or one server to another server. How? We'll talk it in details. We'll see in the screen as well how the TR is managed, how the TR is created, how the TRs are moved. We'll discuss it in details. But let us understand first what is a TR or what is a transport request, why it is required, why this TR plays an important role in SAP. So first of all, let us see how many types of servers do we have. Okay, so first of all, let me just tell you that we have three types of servers. Server you can say, or system you can say. So basically we have three types of server. One is the development server, second is the quality server, and the third is the production server. Now you would ask, why three server is required? Why three server are required? So to check the performance of the configuration which has been performed or which has been uh, designed as per the company or the business requirement, if that is working absolutely as per the business requirement or not. That is the reason these three servers are required. So first server we will do the configuration, second server we will do the testing, and the third server or system we will do the live activity, or the we will post the live transactions, or we will generate the live reports. Okay, so that is the reason why we require these three types of servers. Excuse me. So we have basically the configuration. For the configuration we have development server, for the testing we have quality server, and for the live uh, transaction postings we have the production server. Here what happens is when configuration is performed, when is configuration is done by the consultant, who will do the configuration will be done by the consultant. So once the configuration is performed by the consultant, a TR gets generated. Okay, a TR gets generated, and where the TR gets generated, you can create the TR with the help of this T code, which is SE09 or SE10. Okay, with the help of SE09 or SE10 you can create a TR. Now once a TR is generated, right, once a TR is generated, let's suppose I was working in a client called 100. So what is a client? First of all, let's discuss what is a client. So client is a server. Let's suppose in development you have 100 client and 120 client. Why these two clients is required? In this client you will do the configuration, right, in the development server. Then in 200 client, what you will do? In 200 client you will do the testing. You will create a, you will do a configuration here, but you will not do the testing. You will not do any transaction here. You will not post any live transaction in client 100. So in client 100, let's suppose if you have done any configuration, a consultant have performed any configuration, he will not post any live transaction in client 100, neither in 200. Where he will do the, where he will post the live transaction, that will be posted in client 300. But to post the live transaction in client 300, it is important that you do a configuration in client 100. That is very important that you create or do a configuration in client 100. It's not mandatory that always it would be 100. The client number can be anything from, let's suppose, 100 to 999, 9999. Anything, any number. It can be 200, 300, 400, as per the company's requirement. Client number, they can pick and choose, and they can suggest that, okay, I need let's say 500 client for my development, I need 600 client for my quality, I need 700 client for my production, or let's suppose I need 110 or 120 for the development, 130 for the production. So that can be any number as per the company's requirement. It's not always mandatory. It is not mandatory that it should be 100. It's not universal. So it can be any number, this can be any number, this can be any number. Just, but as I am taking the session, I am taking the class, I am conducting this session, I am giving training. So for the knowledge purpose, for the information purpose, I have mentioned 100 here, 200 here, 300 here, but it's not always the same case. It can be any number. It can be any number. It can be 200, 300, 400, 500, any number. So let us understand why this client is required, why this client is required, why this client is required. So once the SAP is there in any company, so these many servers are there. These are the mandatory servers which will always be there in any company, in any organization where the SAP is installed. They would must have development server, they would must have the quality server, they will must have the production servers. But one single user will not have access to all these clients. Let's suppose if I'm an end user, I will not have the access to all the servers. It's not required. Let's suppose I am a consultant, so I would need the access of the development server. Why I would need the access of the development server? Because I will do the configuration. Because I would do a configuration, I would need the access to the development server. Who would need the access to the quality server? A consultant would again need the access to the quality server because he will do the testing. Okay. Now who would need the production server? The end user or the accountant, which we call, would need the access to the production server. So the end user will not get the access to the quality server or the development server. No, he would get the access to the production server only. But who will get the access to the development server or quality server? The consultant would get. So in this development server, what the consultant would do, the consultant would do the configuration first. He would perform the configuration activity in this development server. So whatever configuration he has performed, to move that configuration data, from one server or one system or one client to another, what is required? A TR. A TR is required. Here TR plays a very important role. Without TR, the data which has been maintained in the development server, the configuration which has been performed in the development server will not move to the quality system, neither it will move to the production system. So it's very important that once the TR is generated, once a TR is created in the development server, that gets moved to the quality server, And once the testing is performed, that whatever configuration we have done, based on that whatever postings were required, all the postings, all the transactions are performed absolutely fine, and then only in that case we would move the data or move the TR from the quality server to the production server. So we can say that we would need these to move the transaction from the TR from one server to another server. Okay, how it work? So we would move this from the development server to the quality server, and again from the quality to the production server. So this is how it works. This is how it works. So whatever TR gets generated, we will move the TR from the development server to the quality server, and from the quality server to the production server. Okay, who will generate the TR? TR will be generated by the consultant. Once the TR is generated, so what the consultant would do, so they can move the data or move the TR within the system. Within the system means from the development system to the development system only. So from here to here, from 100 client to, let's suppose, 120 client, which is already created in the development server. So now I'm not saying that I am moving my data from development server to quality server. No, I'm not moving it. What I am doing, I am moving my TR from 100 client to 100 client to 120 client. Okay, what I am doing, I am moving the data from 100 client to 120 client within the system. Within the development server, I am not moving my TR from development server to quality server. I am moving my TR from one client to another client within the system. Within the system means within the development server, I have two clients, or let's suppose I have three clients. So I will move the data from 100 client to 120 client. So here I am not moving the TR. What I am doing, I am not moving the TR from development to quality or quality to production. I am moving it within the system, one client to another client in the development system, right? So why it is required? So once the configuration is done and the TR is generated, so we will test within the system that whether this TR which I have created, which whatever configuration we have done, so we will perform a unit testing for that, and we would check whether the configuration which we have done for that, whether these transactions are working fine or not. So for that we would do the unit testing. We will post the document entries, we will generate the reports, we will check whether my configuration is working fine or not. Once I have checked, okay, everything is fine, then we would move the data from the development server to the quality server, and then we can release the TR. Once this TR is moved from one server to another server, we can release the TR. Once the TR is moved from the development server to the quality server, then we can release the TR. What is release? Release is indicates that whatever configurations which we did in the development server, now the TR is okay to move to the quality server, and we would release that particular TR from the development server so that it can be imported in the quality server, and later it can get imported in the production server. So once the TR is moved from one server to another server, the release the one server to another server, then we can release the TR. And when it is moved from one client to another client within the system, then TR release is not required. Okay, so now the question you can ask, okay, we have learned in our previous session that there are different types of data: master data, transaction data, configuration data. Now you can ask, what data gets moved from one system to another system? So keep it in mind that master data does not require a TR. Whenever we create a master data, TR does not get generated. Whenever a transaction is performed, a TR never gets generated. When the TR would get generated only when we perform any activity in the SPRO screen, right? So whenever a configuration is performed, then only the TR gets generated, and that TR only needs to move from one server to another server, and again from quality server to the production server. Okay, so let us also understand that how we can move the the data from one client to another client. So let's suppose, as I was discussing, we can move the data from 100 client to, let's suppose, 120 client within the system. So for that you can move it with the help of the T code SCC1. So with the help of T code SCC1, you can move the data from one client to another client. You can move the TR from one client to another client. Okay, and how the TR gets generated? So once you perform any activity in the configuration server, in the development server, so either you can call it a development server or a quality server. Quality server, they call it as a quality server. Many people call it as a testing server also, because all the testings are performed in the actual testings are performed in the quality server. Okay, so here you can do a testing, and then it can be moved to the production system. So once it is tested, a unit testing is performed within the client, so later it can be moved from the development server to the quality server. So how it will be moved? It will be moved with the help of the TR. So here, once the unit testing is performed, so it will be moved to the quality server. It will move to the quality server. So here 100 in 100 client, all the configurations are performed. Now we have also tested in 120 client. Within the client we have done all the testings, we have performed all the configuration. Now what we will do, we will release the TR, and once the TR is released, it will move from the development server to the quality server. So whatever you performed here, what you will do, you will test whether my configuration is good or not. So whenever you do any configuration, and based on that configuration, whatever transactions you post in the quality server to test whether my configuration is good or not, so you will do a testing. Once your testing is successful, it means that your configuration is good. And once your configuration, once if your transaction is not okay, if you are not able to post the transaction, or if you not get the desired result which you for which you did the configuration, it means your configuration is not successful. Then again you have to go to that particular uh, TR, and you need to check that where is the issue, and you can fix it. Okay, so you need to do a quality check, a testing of that particular TR which you have generated in the quality system. And here you will do the unit testing or integration testing, like the P2P or O2C testing you will be performing here, right? Then within the client, let's suppose within the client from client 200 to client 210, from client 200 to client 210. What is 210? It's a pre-production system. Pre-production system means before moving your data from client 210 to the production system. Let's suppose this client 300 is a live system. It's a live system, and if I want to move my data from client 200 to client 300, so what I would need? I would need a TR to move it from client 200 to client 300. So 300 is basically the actual production client wherein all the transactions are performed. So in the quality system, once the TR is moved to the quality system, in quality system, the consultant will test if the configuration, whatever they did, based on that configuration, all the transactions are getting posted as per the requirement or not. Will do all the document entry posting, will all generate all the reports, will do the user acceptance testing, right? UAT is a terminology which is most commonly used when a consultant performs the testing. It's very important that you remember this word UAT, user acceptance testing, very commonly used by the consultants. Most often you would see that the consultants are saying that we have performed the testing, we have done the UAT. It's a very important word, user acceptance testing, which is performed every time before a TR gets moved to the production system. Every time before the transaction gets moved to the production system, it's very important that a consultant perform the UAT. Without UAT, without checking that all the transactions are absolutely performing fine or not, the TR will never ever get moved to the production system. Now you would understand what now you can ask, okay, I'm being a consultant, can I do the configuration of my own and can I move the TR of my own? No. So to answer this question, you cannot move the TR of your own. You would not perform any activity of your own. Being a consultant, you would be assigned work by your superior, by your team lead, by your manager, by your senior, via mail or via any other medium, that they would intimate you, they will inform you that this configuration is required. Then you need to do the configuration, then you need to check the approval, then only you can move the TR from one system to another system. It's not that if you are a consultant you will do whatever you want. You will create the TR or you will do any configuration, you will move it to the production system, quality system, production system. No, you are not authorized to do that. You are not supposed to do that. You will not be able to do that because that is something which needs approval, prior approval from your concerned manager. Only you can move the TR from one system to another system and another system, quality system to production system. Before moving any data, any TR, anything in the production system, you need to go through these steps. It's a very important steps that needs to be followed by any organization. It's a universal step that has to be followed by a consultant. Okay, so these are the major and important activities which are performed by a consultant. So in this session, what we have learned, let's take a review. So we have learned about the SAP architecture. In 1972, SAP launched its R3 architecture. Earlier they only had two architecture, okay, and in 1972 they come up with the R3 architecture, the presentation layer, application layer, and the database layer. Okay, R stands for the real-time data processing. If I talk about data, these are the major data which are generated, which are created by the consultants, by the end users in the SAP system. These data gets stored in the database layer. TR is very important. It is important role to move the configuration data from one server to another system. Main systems are the development system, the quality system, and the production system. It's very important. Development system, consultant will do the configuration. Quality system, they will do all the testings of their configuration. And in the production system, the end user would work, but before that, the consultant would ensure that all the configurations, whatever they have done, are tested in the quality system, and then only prior approval from their concerned manager or the team lead, they would move the TR from the quality system to the production system. So the end user can perform all his transactions on a live system. This client is a live system. Keep it in mind, this is a live system. Okay, so in today's class we have covered all these topics. So in our upcoming classes we will start with the configuration. We would see how we do a configuration, how we generate the TR, how we do the configuration of all the submodules of SAP FICO, as in the enterprise structure, global parameters, how the ARAP or the asset banking configurations are performed. So we would be covering the entire SAP FICO configuration, the real-time configuration, how it the consultant does. So we will be discussing in details. So keep watching. If you want to learn the SAP FICO, you can subscribe to my channel, and you can also share it with those who want to learn the SAP FICO module. It's a very good career to if you want to boost your career in SAP domain. So you can learn this SAP module. It's a very demanding and useful software. SAP itself is a very big software. It is used in many countries. So you can learn SAP, and if you want to learn, you can learn this SAP FICO module with me, and I will take you through the complete configuration, end-to-end real-time implementation process, and you would land up to a very good knowledge in the SAP FICO domain. So I hope you like this video.